Hey everyone, how's it going? So, what am I doing now? Well, I've decided to take that Ford 8.8 out and start grinding down the mounting pads. If you remember this 8.8, when I got that plasma cutter that I picked up, and it was my first ever plasma cutter, I was showing how well it worked. And of course, I got a little overzealous and I actually cut into the tubes a little bit. Not a big deal. I just got to clean that up and weld it back. But I got to grind off all of the mounts there, and it's pretty heavily welded, so this is going to take a while. So I'm going to just show you a small portion of what I'm doing, and I'm not going to bother filming it because it's probably going to take a couple of hours if I had to venture a guess. And hopefully I have enough grinding discs to do this. But let me show you what's going on. Now, if you recall, this Ford 8.8 is from a Ford Explorer. This tube on this side is shorter than that tube on that side. So I have the axle for this side, and I also have another axle for this side that I'm going to put on that side, because I'm going to shorten that tube up. So this way it'd be like slightly narrowed, and all of this is going to go into that car right there, the Hornet. So I just started to grind real quick on this. I wanted to see how these grinding discs work. I had these. I don't even know where I got them from, to be honest with you. They're Warrior, so they are Harbor Freight. I don't know how good they are. I haven't the slightest idea. I just hit it there. But like I said, this is going to be extremely time consuming. I did cut through the tube either here or over here. I think over here is where I actually cut through it, or there. Not a big deal, like I said. Once I get all the grinds down, then I'm going to sand it with like a belt sander that I picked up, and just try to make it nice and smooth and even. And at that point, once I realize where the actual holes are, I can weld those shut. And then I have to figure out how to shorten that tube. And for that, I'm going to watch YouTube videos. I've seen it done. I've just never done anything like that. So I got to learn myself. So let me start. Like I said, I'm going to let you watch some of this, but it's going to be a little too difficult for you to see the whole thing, because I don't think you're going to want to watch 2 hours of me grinding metal. That just would be ridiculous. So let me start this, and then we'll stop the video, and I'll just keep going. All right, so I'm going to put you in my tripod like such. And I'm trying to think. Maybe this side would be better because the sparks are going to go the other way. Obviously, if you're doing something like this, you want to wear eye protection, which I always have my glasses on. So I don't have a full face mask, which I probably should get one of those at some point. I just don't have one. Maybe if I do head out, maybe I'll stop at Harbor Freight again and pick up one of those. I've become a very good customer of theirs lately, I will say that. So this is going to also be a little bit noisy, but I'm going to basically show you what I'm going to do. All right, so as you can see, this is going to take quite a while to get that down. And in other areas, I got the brackets that I cut off, I got them down even closer, but of course I wound up cutting through the tube, like I believe I did right there. So anyway, like I said, I'm just going to keep going with this. I don't want to waste your time with filming it because this is going to take a long time. So, but it is what it is. Got to get it done. So let me just continue grinding it down. This may be over a couple of days because I may get sick and tired of doing this after about an hour and want to take a break. Plus I might wear down those grinding discs. I don't know. I've never done anything like this before, but it is what it is. All right, let me keep going and I'll show you when I stop. So I got this much ground off. And that took me about an hour. So I had put up a short and I was asking you guys that do fabrication and welding and stuff like that, what do you suggest for getting this down, or am I just going to have to keep doing this? And a lot of you said, you know, try a different disc or use a torch and cut it down. I don't have an oxyacetylene torch to cut it down with. You said use my plasma cutter. Here's the big problem. My plasma cutter's at work, and I don't have air at the shop here, or at the home shop. Not yet. Getting there. So, and some of you guys suggested cutoff wheels. So I did buy some cutoff wheels. I ran down to Harbor Freight, and I bought some cutoff wheels, and I bought the Bauer stuff. But there's two different kinds of cutoff wheels. I'm not quite sure the difference, but there's a HA24. HA29, not quite sure what the difference is, but I'm going to open them both up and see what's going on. I also bought flapper discs. Some of you had said use flapper discs. The same thing that I was using on the trailer when I was mounting those D-rings. So I'm going to try the cutoff wheels first. I don't know which is which. I'm going to open both packages and see what's what. Actually, here, maybe you can stay here with me while I open them up. Alright, so this one is the HA24. I don't know what the difference is. Type, it says 2742 on the back. I'm not quite sure what any of that means, I'll be honest with you. It's good for steel and stainless. Same with this one. But this one says type 0141. So, see that? Like I couldn't see it through the package on this one, but let me open up this package. See what it says. Let me make sure, because that package seemed like it was open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was just counting them to make sure there was actually 10 there. Because the package looked like it might have been open before. You know, it would be really helpful if I carried a knife. But I don't. I don't carry a knife. Oh, I see the difference already. Okay. Oops. Excuse me. So, here's the difference. This one's flat, and this one has that bevel to it. See it? So, although they do look like different material also. I don't know if you could see that by looking into that picture there. They actually look like they might be different material. I don't know what the difference is going to be, but I'm going to try the one with the bevel to it first. Let me mount that up and let's see what it does. Alright, so I got the cutoff wheel mounted. Now I'm going to go in there and I'm going to try cutting these down. I'll show you a little bit. Like I said, I'm not going to bother showing you the entire thing because you're going to be sitting here for hours watching me grind, and to me that's just ridiculous. And no, I'm not going to sit here and edit it and make it go fast forward. I just don't like doing that. So let me do it. Let me go ahead and do this. Maybe as I get a little more popular. I mean, I know I got 170,000 subscribers, but maybe once I get more popular, I can actually hire somebody to maybe edit my videos. I don't know, but we'll see. And I'm thinking about doing memberships. So if you guys thinking that's something that you might like, I'm thinking about doing it. So, all right, let's go ahead and do this. And actually, I'm going to want to put you probably over here. Okay, so that's going to work much better doing it that way, just cutting off the main part of it. It's still going to be time consuming, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to put my earmuffs on, and I'm going to go ahead and attack this, try to get these things ground down today. All right, so the cutoff wheel and the new abrasive disc, I bought flap discs too, but I'm not using it yet, but I bought a new Hercules grinding wheel. I bought a couple of them. That was the ticket, but I cut it down with the cutoff wheel, and then I used the grinding disc just to get it flat. I mean, I still got to clean this thing up, and then I'm going to have to probably take a belt sander to it just to clean it up, and then weld it where I'd cut through with the plasma cutter. But let me just show you what I got. So far, see now that's coming out pretty good. I'm happy with that. And I got that all the way around, and as you can see, the areas where it went in deep. But once I polish this thing up with a wire wheel or something just to clean it up, because I still got to degrease it, it's pretty nasty. But once I do all of that, then I'll fill in wherever I have to with the MIG welder, and then sand that down flush. Because as you can see, that's a pretty heavy divot right there. Like I said, it may have penetrated. I don't know. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter that much. It's all fixable. But yeah, so let me do the other side. Let me get that side done, and then we're going to move forward from there. I'm trying to decide if I want to take this rear end up to my buddy Snafu, Rich in Pennsylvania, and maybe narrow it there, because I want to put 4 9-inch rear, 4 9-inch ends on this. And the reason for that is these ends here, these take a bearing and a seal, and then the axle inserts all the way in, and you have a C-clip. Well, you don't want to run C-clips if you have any kind of power going through the vehicle, and with my tendency to abuse things, I'm not sure I want to have that. I'd rather have the 4 9-inch ends, because then what happens is you put those ends on this rear, and you get bearings for a 4 9-inch that fit the axles that go into here, and then you press everything together. This way the bearings are what's holding the axles in, not the C-clips. So in case you break an axle, you don't lose an axle and have a problem. If you break an axle, the axle stays with the vehicle. Unless, of course, it shears to the outside edge, which I've actually never seen that, but anything's possible. But yeah, so all right, let me go ahead and let me get that other side cut down and cleaned up, and I'm going to move forward. So that's it for now. Got it all ground down. It's all flush. I'm going to degrease this whole thing, power wash it, get it nice and clean. Probably wire wheel it, something like that, because I got like heavy gooky dirt and gunk on it. So I just want to get it all nicely cleaned up, and then I'm going to sand it, and then I'm going to fill in those pits with the welder and make sure everything's good. And that's going to be about it for now. So yeah, thank you for everybody that that answered on a short there and gave me some comments on what to try. And sure enough, it was the better cutoff wheel, or not cutoff wheel, but the better grinding disc is what really helped. The cutoff wheel really helped too, because I took down the major stuff. Like I said, I don't have a torch here or anything like that, and I don't even have my plasma cutter here. But those other, wherever in the world those came from, that grinding disc that I had, because I have a few of them. Like I said, I don't even know where I got these things from. Warrior, actually, yeah, I think these are Harbor Freight. They're terrible. These things are terrible. I'm gonna just toss them in the garbage. They just take forever to actually cut. But yeah, so this is gonna stay like this for now, and that's gonna pretty much end it. All right, guys. Well, hopefully you're getting something out of my videos. If you are, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. If you look down in the description, you'll see links to Amazon products that I personally use. If you could at least give it a click, I'd really appreciate it. It does help me. It shows I get traffic. If you buy something, even better, I do get a small percentage. That's about it. All right, guys. Hope you had a great day, and thanks for watching. Keep wrenching.